Eleanor Roosevelt used to be First Lady of the United States from 1933 to 1945. She used to be, additionally, in recommend for human and civil rights. She was once made a delegate to the UN General Assembly and performed a key position in drafting the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. She additionally was once a key parent in John F. Kennedy's Presidential Commission on the Fame of Women. The future belongs to these who trust in the splendor of their dreams. Eleanor Roosevelt. She used to be born October 11, 1884. At an early age, her mom and father passed away, leaving her to be introduced up with the aid of her maternal grandmother. Eleanor Roosevelt. In her late teens, she grew to become lively in social work, volunteering in the slums of East New York. In 1902, she additionally met Franklin D. Roosevelt, who was once presently analyzing at Harvard. After some opposition from Franklin's mother, they married in 1905. They had 6 children. However, the marriage was once no longer accept difficulties. In 1918, Eleanor determined Franklin used to be having an affair. This almost led to a divorce, however, was once averted after household contributors and advisors prompted them to remain together. Nevertheless, it modified the marriage, and Eleanor grew to be extra impartial as a result. By 1921, Franklin was once afflicted with a paralysis of the legs which left him in a wheelchair. Eleanor used to be pivotal in assisting Franklin deal with his incapacity and efficaciously inspired him to return to public life. In the 1920s, Eleanor labored as a teacher, instructing literature and American records in New York. However, she increasingly more observed time to end up concerned in neighborhood and nation politics. She grew to be influential in the New York Democratic Party and campaigned on a range of troubles such as advertising the pursuits of the Women's Trade Union League. Eleanor Roosevelt. Eleanor's political activism and reputation helped her husband's political career, especially in gaining votes from girls and labor organizations. In 1932, Franklin D. Roosevelt used to be elected president, in opposition to a backdrop of the Great Depression and mass unemployment. He used to be elected with a new mandate for increased authorities' intervention in making an attempt to provide a New Deal to the unemployed. As First Lady, Eleanor broke the normal mold and grew to be a distinctly seen determined talking at rallies and traveling unemployed workers. People felt a sincerity in her want to resource the marginalized of the superb despair, and her public profile was once very high. Eleanor additionally supplied a position mannequin for ladies at a time when ladies hardly ever ventured out of domesticated life. To articulate her beliefs, Eleanor wrote a day-by-day newspaper column and different articles. These ranged from women's problems to prevalent humanitarian causes. It isn't adequate to discuss about peace. One ought to trust in it. And it isn't sufficient to agree within it. One should work at it. Eleanor Roosevelt, Voice of America broadcast, the 11th of November 1951, Second World War. During the Second World War, Eleanor took on even greater responsibilities and spent her time imparting ethical assist to the fighting effort. In 1943, her go to troops in the Pacific proved a high-quality success, with even skeptics admitting her presence and dedication had a splendid impact on enhancing the morale of the men. During the war, Eleanor additionally supported the rights of Black Americans, such as the Tuskegee Airmen, to teach as fighter pilots and take a greater seen position in the American Army effort. At a variety of times, Eleanor made efforts to her searching for higher civil rights for the U.S. Black population, which at the time nonetheless skilled a whole lot discrimination. In the ultimate months of the war, Franklin handed away. The ache of Franklin's demise used to be heightened for Eleanor by way of understanding he spent his remaining moments with some other woman, Lucy Mercer, whom he had in the past had an affair with. United Nations Eleanor Roosevelt. After the war, Harry Truman, who succeeded Franklin D. Roosevelt, appointed Eleanor as a delegate to the United Nations General Assembly. The mobilization of world opinion and techniques of negotiation have to be developed and used with the aid of each and every kingdom in order to support the United Nations. Eleanor Roosevelt. With excellent enthusiasm for the best of the United Nations, Eleanor helped draft the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which was once adopted by using General Assembly on December 10, 1948. Eleanor regarded this her best achievements and known as it, and global Magna Carta of all mankind. She was once energetic in the United Nations till Eisenhower's electoral victory in 1953. We stand nowadays at the threshold of a fantastic match each in the lifestyles of the United Nations and in the lifestyles of mankind. This assertion may additionally properly end up the global Magna Carta for all guys everywhere. Eleanor Roosevelt. In the post-war period, many stimulated her to run for public office, however she declined, preferring to pay attention on nonpartisan public works. After the election of John F. Kennedy, she was once reappointed to the United Nations. Between 1961 and 1962, after creating bone marrow tuberculosis, she handed away on November 7, 1962. Her funeral was once attended by using Presidents Truman, Eisenhower and John F. Kennedy.